Hello everyone, peace be upon you all. Welcome to the first video where we read this book called The Deities Are Many, a Polytheistic Theology by Jordan Paper. And as I have said, the purpose of reading this book is to prevent or to teach the anathematizers of other Muslims, those who accuse Muslims of polytheism, how real polytheism looks like, how polytheists actually think. So let's read the contents first, then begin with chapter 2. We are going to skip chapter 1 because the author speaks to his fellow colleagues. This is an academic book, so he talks to other academics regarding some academic stuff, and he talks about his own story, so it doesn't matter much. We're going to start with chapter 2, the cosmic couple, Mother Earth and Father Sky. Chapter 3, numinous nature, which means divine or sacred nature, animal, plant, and mineral spirits. Chapter 4, the family deified, ancestral spirits. Chapter 5, divine ghosts, functional deities. Chapter 6, semi-numinous cultural heroes and tricksters. Chapter 7, one or many monotheists' misperceptions of polytheism. Chapter 8, diversity and accommodation, human life in a polytheistic milieu. And let's begin. The cosmic couple, Mother Earth and Father Sky. Sky and Earth. We are all terrestrial creatures. Save for cave mouth and rock shelters, here he is trying to explain how people started deifying the sky and earth. Or floating platforms tethered to the shore, we live on the ground. We may venture into deep caves or risk our lives on ocean voyages, but we cannot fly without highly complex technology. We may swim until exhausted, but again, we cannot venture below the water's surface except for a few minutes without intricate machinery. We feel comfortable on the ground, and until it was paved over, as children we thrilled to the feel of the dust between our toes or playing with and in mud. For most of our history, we slept on the dirt, perhaps cushioned by a thin layer of leaves or animal skins. We rested on earth as on the bosom of our mother. Until we polluted the lakes and streams, we sipped the water, our lives utterly dependent on it as we sucked the milk from our mother's breasts. The food we require for life either grows directly from the soil or the waters, or else consists of herbivores and omnivores who eat plant life and whom we eat in turn. Earth nurses us and feeds us as do our mothers, who themselves in turn are dependent on Earth. Above us is an entity on which we also depend. It contains a bright disk, so bright we cannot look directly at it if the sky is clear, that both warms us and lights the world around us. Not only are we dependent on sun for life, but the plants on which we also depend require sunlight for growth. From above falls the rain on which our ultimate food, plant life, is also dependent. We rely on sky as we do earth. But sky has a different temperament from earth. Save for the very occasional earthquake and volcanic eruption, earth is benign. We do far more harm to her than she has ever done to us. Sky is different. His power is hardly subtle. Sun warms us, but too much of him can burn us, can literally bake our brains. Yet an insufficient amount means we starve. Rain is part of storm, whose lightning, if we are the highest object around, can kill us. Too much rain and we can drown, too little and again we starve. These variations are hardly rare, although severe aspects are uncommon. We humans tend to relate to Earth with great affection, to sky with awe and trepidation. Humans from the very beginnings noted the parallel between male mammals ejaculating fertilizing liquid into females to begin new life and the falling of rain from sky and its absorption by earth for plants to germinate. It may be necessary to interject at this point a response to the still common modern Western conceit that the physical roles of males and females in the creation of life was discovered by early modern Western civilization. In reality, any gardener or farmer, any pre-modern gardener or farmer, certainly knows the relationship, as does anyone dependent on hunting for survival, the relationship between male and female. The cave paintings that date back to the earliest humans provide evidence of that understanding even then. What they did not have, of course, was the Victorian era's horror of the human body and its workings. Since we live between earth and sky, since our lives are utterly dependent on their conjoining, it is natural for us to conceive of earth and sky as our parents. It is equally natural, given the very natures and how they affect us, that most cultures understand earth or sea for maritime peoples as our mother and sky as our father. Virtually every culture save one, that is Judaism, which extends Christianity and Islam, for which we have some awareness. In other words, before the invention of writing, we do not know or we are not aware of any other monotheistic culture. Virtually every culture has so understood and related to Earth as a mother god. The sole exception is the interrelated monotheistic complex. So here he criticizes us as having a certain complex. And it's interrelated in the sense that we all monotheistic traditions have the same origin, that is Judaism, in his secular view. And even this understanding ultimately derives from this acknowledgement of cosmic parents. For many scholars of the Hebrew Bible understand Yahweh to have been originally a storm deity, and for most, if not all, of Israelite history, he had a spouse who was earth, or sea for the Canaanites, Asherah, whose image was not only in the temple, but in virtually every household. Of course, the presumption here is that monotheism did not originate from revelation. Let's continue. From a negative perspective, if one wants to be negative, one could argue that monotheism arises from an anti female aberration, from the excision of the mother from the divine couple, leaving but the father to reign in lonely and unnatural magnificence. Most cultures understand creation of every sort to be due to the sexual pairing of equal complementary deities. For instance, the Polynesian Maori of present-day New Zealand understand the primal parents to be Papa, the Earth Mother, and Rangi, the Sky Father. From the primal parents were born humans, forests, undomesticated and domesticated plants, oceans, and storms. In cultures where precedence is given to one of the pair, it is invariably the female partner, for it is the female who gestates birth and nurtures new life. The essential male role is brief and other roles are tangential. In the rare case of parthenogenesis, the male is not even necessary. Parthenogenesis is where a female gives birth without having sexual intercourse with a male. So here he's trying to present polytheism as a feminist religion, whereas monotheism is male oriented. In reality, when it comes to Islam at least, God is not male nor female. God is transcendent. He is beyond this anthropomorphic reality. Let's continue. Again, most cultures conceive of humans as reflecting this primal coupling. Our bodies are often conceived as formed from the soil of earth and our life from the breath of sky. In cultures where irrigation was necessarily developed early, the waters may be perceived as the male fertilizing vitalizing substance. In either scenario, whether it is water or the wind from the sky, we humans are composed of earth and water. In the more complex formulations of developed civilizations, there are variations. In China, it is understood that our form or material bodies come from the pairing of sky and earth, and our vital energy from the interrelationship of yin and yang. Hence, every culture, given the monotheistic exception, celebrates and offers thanks to the divine pair, from a simple acknowledgement of the first of a set of offerings to the magnificent rituals of complex civilizations. Even chimpanzees have been observed to dance ritually in the presence of thunderstorms and waterfalls, and these are the only circumstances in which this behavior has been noted. We say, or we claim, that chimpanzees do that in thanks to God, not Earth and the sky. As examples, two very different sets of rituals demonstrate the variety of ways in which humans acknowledge the cosmic couple. And next video we are going to see these ways, inshallah, or God willing. Before we end the video, I have to say something. In Islam, the earth and the sky are sentient beings, and they can hear us, and they react to our actions and behavior. But they are not independent beings. Their existence and their actions are dependent on God's will and God's power. And with that, we end the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.